Will the Legends Festival 2025 bring more life to Dragon Ball Legends? Well, the short answer, probably not. But I do think it's worth the discussion anyways. The festival is the end of the year, and at the end of the year, there's always lots of reasons to just play Dragon Ball Legends, especially because the celebration is during the holiday period. I've got some points I want to address, and at the end of the video, I'll give my opinion, but let me know in the comment section what you think. Will the Legends Festival 2025 revive Dragon Ball Legends? Or for you, are you not giving it any other chances? Let's get into this, man. So the first topic I wanted to address, and probably the most important topic to address, is the unit choices. Now I should go into this and say the unit choices are gonna make it so that people's perspectives on how the festival goes is very subjective. People will have their opinions, some people will like it, some people will dislike it, and it is going to be what it's going to be. But the overall point is the unit choices should still make everybody feel like they can enjoy the game. So let's just name some typical things that we should get from units so that the game doesn't get worse than it already is, which would be honestly a feat from the Dragon Ball Legends developers if they were able to pull that off. So the first thing, the units shouldn't be heavily overpowered. We don't want another Ultra Margin Vegeta event. We don't want another Ultra Full Power Frieza event. We don't want another Diamond team running the game for the whole celebration. We want every unit that releases to be able to be used so that no matter who you like or what you go for, you could stand a good chance when playing ranked PvP. There's nothing more that sucks when the unit that you like the most just happens to be the worst thing in the game. So ultimately, if they find a way to balance all of the units, as long as the units look decent, I think a lot of people will appeal to them because they will like one thing at least during the celebration. The next thing I want to address is their creativity. These celebration units that drop in the Festival 2025 should not be the same standard as monthly releases. It's a celebration, the end of the year, and they've lined it up with all this prep. They're gonna drop trailers and they're gonna do bigger reveals and stuff for this event, and then just to drop units on the same calibers of dry periods of the year. That would be a terrible outcome, but there's very easy ways for them to make these new units feel better than units that we usually get. For example, one of the things I'm always craving in Dragon Ball Legends, especially during a celebration, are new mechanics. As long as the units have new mechanics, at least for me, and I know a lot of you guys feel this same way heavily, I think the units are good to go. It shows that they're actually using their brain, implementing creativity to make the units feel fresh and different to anything that we've got in the past. Even if the animations are similar, a new mechanic will bring new life into the game because you have to understand the concept and you get to utilize it over something that you've already used in the game over a long period of time. This is a gacha game, and gacha games work on the fact that you log in every single day. So if I'm playing every single day and they go ahead and drop a new unit but with a mechanic that I've been playing with for the past 2 years, I'm not gonna feel it special even though it's a new unit. But the last thing that also factors in is the look of the unit. So this would be regarding their animations and their actual models. We saw in the 7th anniversary Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, his hair, the model on that unit there is absolutely phenomenal. Comparing that Super Saiyan Goku to any other Super Saiyan Goku we have in Dragon Ball Legends, we even got one earlier this year, the Instant Transmission Super Saiyan Goku, and they do not compare to the quality of the Ultra. And that's what new units should feel like almost every single time if they're going for the visual elevation. But that's it pretty much for the unit choices. I think it's going to be the biggest make or break regarding the festival. I think it always is. If the units themselves don't feel good, no matter what, the whole celebration is a bust. Because at the end of the day, when we look back at the celebration, you don't remember all the micro events and etc. You look at the units, how they affected ranked PvP, and if they appeal to you or not. So hopefully they get the unit choices right this 2025 festival, as it really is a make or break. The next thing I want to address is their generosity. Now honestly, I wouldn't say they've done a bad job in being generous in 2025 so far, specifically in the anniversary. In the 7th anniversary, the only other celebration of the year, I really felt like they were raining chrono crystals. But there's another problem aside from the increase in chrono crystals. Yes, I said increase. They've actually been giving more chrono crystals. But aside from that, it doesn't feel like more, at least the whole year round. I just spoke about the praise for the anniversary, so that's the positive. positives, but there's negatives. And a bulk of that negative regards the idea of them increasing the amount of releases that we have in a year. If they're doing double ultras at once, they're dropping more Legends Limiteds. It's literally harder to use your chrono crystals to get the things you want, especially as a free to play. I've used this example before, but I'll just say it again so it's clear in your mind how the developers have literally produced this year so far. So let's just say in a whole year, they only released 3 Legends Limiteds. And for those 3 Legends Limiteds, in the whole year, they also give out 60,000 chrono crystals. Now that would be very good because for each Legends Limited, you have 20,000 chrono crystals to split evenly between the 3 units. So that's great, right? Let's say that year was 2024, hypothetically. In 2025, they released 4 Legends Limiteds, and you would assume if they were giving us 20,000 chrono crystals for each unit they release, we would then get 80,000 chrono crystals because we'd need 20,000 for each unit for an even split. But that's not what the developers have done. Instead, they released 4 Legends Limiteds, but instead of giving us another 20,000 increase for the extra Legends Limited that they plan to drop, they only give us a 10,000 chrono crystal increase. So the split between each unit is now less. So yes, they've given us more, but the divide is smaller than it was before. And that makes it harder to get units higher starred, and thus makes it harder to compete, because if you even do get the unit, assuming you get the unit, you're not going to be performing at a high level. Hence, the free-to-play problem is simply getting worse. So even if they are generous in the festival, I think they need to really up it, because they're most likely going to drop 2 Legends Limiteds in part 1, 2 Legends Limiteds in part 2, and God forbid they drop 2 Ultras in part 3, especially because they've just dropped 2 Ultras post 7th anniversary, being Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Corrupted Zamasu. And then there would be an after party, which is wild. But another way they can be generous is not just through chrono crystals, but making the banners more in favor of the player base. For example, they increase the Z power drop rates. They could also increase the Z power you can get for each drop. They could make the pity system even better than it is. Easy things that would make the game feel better for every single player. Is it likely they'll do these things? I'm not too sure, but if they did, it would make a big difference to how people view the celebration, as at the bare minimum, everybody would have access to the characters that they want to get, unless they were super unlucky. So generosity definitely is a big factor. The last thing I want to address is their unpredictability in 2025. They've been doing things that have just been unfathomable to a lot of people. Just look at the whole 7th anniversary. They did not do anything that anybody expected. Maybe subpar the Ultras. Part 1 being MUI Goku and SSBE Vegeta was really shocking, especially because it leaked. Everybody was expecting Ultra MUI, but then to get him as a transforming Legends Limited, I can speak for some people here, it just didn't meet people's expectations. And then part 2, dropping Saiyan Saga Kaioken Goku and Vegeta, not saying they're bad units visually, and especially not in PvP, they are valuable. But again, I can speak for a lot of people here, they weren't exactly special. But aside from that, the dynamic area battles did actually uplift the game, to some degree. It became the case that a lot of people's phones have started to melt down, started to heat up and lag. And then in part 3, we get 2 Ultras that are very beautiful and look fun, but Frieza just starts terrorizing the game. The irony is that they released the dynamic area battles to make the game less passive, and with Frieza, we have people literally just sitting at the back and games are still going to time accounts. So we're getting things that we really wouldn't expect, but at the same time, that's supposed to shake up the game. And I can't exactly say if they did the things that they've done for the past 7 years, so dropping a Fusion Warrior every celebration, it would be better than what they've done this year. So because of this, I can't really say the changes that they've made are making the game better, but at the same time, if they did the same thing that they've been doing for the past 7 years, it might feel especially stale. And that makes the game's predicament really difficult to evaluate, as you really don't know what you're going to get. Now, if I was to give my opinion on what I think about the Legends Festival 2025 before they've dropped anything about it, honestly, I think it's going to be alright. I don't think it's going to be great, I don't think it's going to be bad, but I really think it's going to depend from person to person. The units are definitely going to hold the most weight, but I don't imagine them pulling out anything super spectacular that we haven't already seen. For example, a new rarity. In the 2021 festival, when they dropped the first summonable Ultra, Super Gogeta, everybody was wowed. But if they drop a new rarity now, I think people would complain, as it would more so lead to the idea we're gonna have to spend more chrono crystals. And that makes it even tougher for free to plays. So I don't think that would make people especially happy. I guess they could make some quality of life changes, but they should have been done that. So it will make people happy, sure, but for how long? An example would be them making supporters free to play. It should just be the case, and I do think it's going to happen happen. I remember Zenkai's came out and they costed 20k to just get one, and now you can get them for free, and they give you chrono crystals for grinding them. I just think supporters will eventually be free to play once they release more. So outside the events and the quality of life, I think the units will do alright, but it's going to be very subjective, just like the 7th anniversary. They're not going to give us something that would wow the overall fandom. Whether you hate them or you love them because of Dragon Ball Legends' past 7 years, there's a reason why the Dragon Ball franchise promoted the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie with Gogeta. There's a reason why MUI Goku broke the internet. There's just these typical things that as Dragon Ball fans, we know, generally speaking, are more hype than other things. And I think that should be generally accepted, but that also isn't what I expect this celebration, which is why it's just going to be alright, as there'll be differing opinions from different people. I really don't know what they're going to drop. I can only make a prediction on what I think, but if it doesn't appeal to you, this celebration coming up, the Festival 2025, it's not going to be that great. But hopefully it does, and hopefully they do bring new things to the game, so at least you can still enjoy, even if the characters don't exactly meet your liking. Like I said at the start of the video, let me know in the comment section what you think about the upcoming Legends Festival 2025. If you guys don't know, it starts mid-November, and I can only hope that it's a good celebration, but we'll just have to see. I've given my opinion, and it's now time for you to give yours. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.